Today we shall be discussing the topic of internal check in the auditing process. Objectives, principles and advantages. Now, internal check comes from two words. The first one is internal and the second one is check. Internal means something which is going to happen internally in an organization. It is done by the members of the staff. Internal, that is what the word internal means. Check means verification or a check on the system, right? So internal check basically is a checking process. The work we check each and every department in our organization. It is a method of a check in which work of one person is checked by another person. So for one work, you will be appointing more than one person. One person will be doing the work and the other person will automatically be checking the work of the previous person. So this is called automatic checking because one man will be doing his part of work and the other man will be checking the previous one's part of work. So what is happening? What is beneficial is the work is being cross-verified. Automatically checking is taking place. It is a very important part of internal control system. We split the work into division of work. We do the segments of the work. One work involves in the hands, different hands in one process. It is not that one person will be assigned to do the task and that's it. No, one person is appointed for one task. More than one person for one work. Because you need another person to check the work of the first person. Internal check initiates a continuous audit of transactions by the employees. Please listen very carefully. The word is continuous. Continuous here means there is no break. It is happening one after the other. This is what continuous means. Second word is audit. What is audit? Audit means check. Audit means verify all the transactions. Now in internal check, the verification is done on a continuous basis and it is done by the employees of the organization. Why? Because it is internal check. Internal meaning I told you. So the employees, they are auditing their own transactions continuously. It is a part of a routine which operates continuously. It is not that today no internal check, sleep for 5 days, wake up after 5 days or 1 week and then you say, okay, today we will do internal check. No, it is not like this. It is not a periodic work. It is daily. It is continuously. One work is happening and automatically it is being checked. Another work happened, automatically it is being checked. So this is a continuous routine which we inculcate in the daily process. Okay. While performing the normal duties, daily works, daily course, whatever in the organization, in the department, whatever is happening. Internal check will enable the automatic check in the process. You don't have to assign separate days or separate hours for checking. Automatically, the check will take place. The duties are so arranged that no one person possesses the entire authority of the process. Why is it like this? That no one person will be appointed for one work? Because then who will check? One person will be doing it continuously. Then there should be another person to check. That is why you do not give one person the full authority of one work. More than one person is present for one work. The check has to be immediate. Another important factor is there should be automatic check, which I told you, and it has to be immediate. As soon as the work is done, immediately it will be checked. We are not lingering the process of internal check. The automatic check is done immediately. If the check is postponed after a month, it does not give the best results because the error has happened and you are going to verify that error after 1 month. So it will have all the lingered process in verification and in doing the work, right? So it is an automatic check. It is an immediate check and it will happen immediately. We will not wait for a month or a week to happen. Internal check is designed and implemented by the management. It is the top management. The rules and the regulations and how that check will take place, it is to be implemented by the management. Internal check prevents frauds and minimizes the errors. Obviously, if one person is doing the work, he may do an error. Either it can be intentionally, it can be unintentionally also. But if the second person is present to check that error, see, it will be so advantageous for the organization. Timely detection of error and fraud means timely correction of error and fraud. If you detect your mistake immediately, you will immediately correct it also. So the mistake will not get magnified. It will be corrected at the place where it just happened. For example, when we prepare a ledger, in the system of internal check, one person will prepare the ledger, another person will immediately check the ledger. This is what internal check means. One is writing the ledger, other is checking it. So, no transaction will be missed. There will be 100% accuracy because two people are focused on one work. If one person is focused on one work, he may do a human error. Okay, but if two people are there, they will be more vigilant and your mistake will be catched immediately. So this is the advantage and importance of internal check. See, another examples. In your organization, the sales and the cash handling done by separate employees. है ना? Because if the same person is handling the sales and also the cash also he is managing, so there are very bright chances that some fraud or error, or some ghapla can happen. But if you are appointed two separate employees, one will be looking after the sales and one will be managing the cash. So at any time you can reconcile the figure and it has to be same because there are two employees. So the chances of fraud get minimized. Next, see, in the voucher preparation, one person will be preparing the voucher, the second person will be reviewing it, and the third person will be approving the voucher. Now, the voucher preparation has been assigned to three different people. So, what will happen? If an error happens at this place, he will detect it. And if he is also not able to detect it, this person will definitely detect it. So there are 100% chances that you will get full accuracy. You will not get any errors. So internal check is what? Check for all the errors. It is a checkmate for all the errors. You stop the error where it happened. You are not lengthening it. It will never get elasticized. One error sometimes happens at A point of the work and you detect it at the J point of the work. So, 10 steps have taken place with the wrong work, with the wrong figure. So you detect if at A segment you have committed a mistake, it is detected at A segment itself. So this I have given you example of voucher preparation. There are three people involved in voucher preparation. One is going to prepare it, other is going to review it, and the third one is going to approve it. So this is system and example of internal check. Now, this I've already told you about voucher. At times, the checks, they are operated by more than one person. Why are they operated by one or more person? To have the internal check possible. When we go to a bank, sometimes we come across the signatures of two people on the same check. Why is it so? Because one person has made the check, the bank officer, and the second bank officer is internally checking it. That is why he has also put signatures on the same check. So when you see a check with two people's signature, so what is that? That is internal check. To detect the error of the first person, the second officer has been appointed so that there is no mistake. Next, internal check gives you the most reliable information. Your cash, your assets, they are protected. If any mistake occurs, it is immediately caught and brought to the supervisor or the senior clerk. It is immediately, first of all, the mistake is immediately caught. Secondly, it is immediately rectified. Sometimes the mistake is caught after a period of a month and it is very difficult to rectify that mistake. But if you catch the mistake immediately, you can immediately rectify it. Now, the senior accountant or the supervisor, he will keep an eye on the subordinates. There will be surprise visits, there will be surprise checks, and this is how internal check will prove beneficial to your organization. There will be periodical reviews also of the system. If there is any changes or any alterations are needed, they will also be conducted side by side. Now, when we talk about the objectives of internal check, the first one is to increase the overall efficiency of the employees. How will the efficiency improve? Each clerk knows that my written transactions will be checked by another clerk. So nice, right? if A person is writing something, he knows that B is going to check what he has written. So in that case, he will never want to give a chance to B person, which is his colleague, to point out his mistake. You know, A will do his work, try to do his work so efficiently so that he will not give a chance to B to point out his mistake. A will work promptly with full alertness, with careful, and therefore efficiency will increase. Efficiency increases not only of A but also of B. A's efficiency increases, I told you, because B is going to check his work, so A will be very alert and prompt in doing his work. Now, because B is assigned the task to find the faults in the work of A, so B also will be more vigilant. His efficiency will also increase. If the clerk is checking other clerks' work, he has to be thorough himself to assess the work. He should have proper command over the accounts, so his efficiency also increases. So the first objective is the overall efficiency of both the employees, the first employee as well as the person who is going to check his work. Efficiency increases of both the employees. Second is to ensure that the accounting system provides reliable and adequate information. Systematic, correct, true and fair. Obviously the accounting system will be upgraded without any faults because two persons are going to check it, and when it is verified by another person, so there are full chances that the accounts, the books of accounts, they will be more reliable, they will be more true and fair. Next is to reduce the possibility of fraud and errors. This is the basic base on which we introduce the system of internal check so that there are no frauds. Frauds can be intentional, can be unintentional, both ways. Whatever error has happened, it will be caught up and it will be rectified. There will be no misuse because you know the person who is going to misuse it knows that there is somebody standing on his head who is going to come and check his work. So there will be no chance of any misuse, carelessness or negligence. The fourth point written here is to detect the fraud and errors, to correct them properly. If any error has taken place, we will be correcting it, rectifying it, because there is immediate detection of errors. Because I told you in the beginning, internal check is an automatic and immediate process. So immediate detection of errors will take place, and the inefficiency of the staff is also immediately caught. If some error has happened by the inefficiency of the staff, so he will be pointed out and he will be told that don't do the works this way, do the works this way. So his efficiency will also increase. Next is to create moral pressure among the staff in a healthy environment, in a healthy way. We want that the clerks, they should be honest, they should be transparent and be able to do the work, complete the work in time. The staff will have clear-cut idea what each one has to do. So how do you increase the moral pressure among the staff? Is the first thing is, when you know that your work is going to be checked by your own colleague, you will be doing it more vigilantly. So there will be a pressure on the staff so that he may not be caught and he may not be pointed out. You know, it is not a very good thing if your colleague only is pointing you that you don't know how to do the things nicely. So the moral pressure increases. First is they will be asked, they will be forced to be honest because their dishonesty will be caught. Their errors and frauds will be immediately caught. So there is a moral pressure on them to be honest, to be transparent and to complete the work in time. Next is to allocate the duties and assign the responsibilities to every employee. I told you that internal check is a division of labor takes place. We are dividing the work and giving to each and every employee. So the responsibility of every employee, duty, is fixed and it is given clearly to them that this is what you have to do. It is the duty of X and the responsibility of X. Okay, there's a duty of Y and the responsibility of Y. Each clerk is responsible in the internal check system. If anything goes wrong, he will be questioned. He will be questioned, so it will be his duty and he will be responsible for his error. He will be responsible for his work because he will be questioned. The thing is that when you know that you will be questioned for any mistake, you will be doing it very vigilantly. This might be happening to you also in your college or in your university. Whatever task is being put to you and you know at the back of your heart that you will be questioned for your wrongdoing. So you will be doing it more vigilantly and the duty and the responsibility will be done with great efficiency. Now we shall be talking about little characteristics or the features. The first is that the work is divided into more than a person. One person is not given the charge of one work. More than one person is given the charge of one work. No employee does work from the start till the end. The whole process is not conducted by one person. There is more than one hand in work, because one hand will do the work and the second hand is going to check the work. Segregation of work enables automatic internal check. Once you divide the work, automatically internal check will take place. Next is the segregation. See, the segregation is the separation of recording of physical assets from the custody of physical assets. One example I gave you, that the sales and cash handling is done by different persons. Here I am talking that the physical assets, like supposingly in your organization you have so many screw kits, those tool kits you have. Now the recording of physical assets of those tool kits will be done by X employee, and the custody of those tool kits will be given to Y employee, so that they both will get cross verified and it will be a check. If the recording is also done by X and the custody also is given to X, so there are chances that he may commit some mistakes. So if it is given to two separate people, the recording of physical assets and the custody of physical assets, so it will be automatic internal check will take place. This I have explained it to you, that one person will be asked to record the physical assets and the other person will have the custody. So there will be an automatic cross verification of the system. Next is the job rotation. What does this mean? You are going to rotate the job of employees. The duties of the staff will be shifted and they will be changed from time to time. Okay, if one employee is appointed at one particular place, after a month he will be shifted from that place and he will be given some other work. And this will be done without prior notice. No one single employee should occupy a particular position for a longer period of time, because then he will become the owner of that particular place and he may commit mistakes. He may intentionally or unintentionally do some errors, right? But if his job is rotated, he is in charge of this place and after a month he will be in charge of some other place. So there are very few chances that any mistakes will be conducted. If one employee stays at a point for a longer period of time, he becomes expert in that particular field. Then what will happen? The chances of match fixing, fraud, manipulation, cheating, errors, it will arise. So therefore what we do is we shift the role of the employees. The employees' roles are shifted. Separate employee will come here at the same position. So there are very few chances that some ghotala will take place. Another example can be done that the bank officers also, they are transferred after a period of 3 years. Why? So that they do not establish a permanent position there and they start doing their own discretionary works there. So this is also a part of internal check. When you see that the bank officers are shifted or this employees of LIC are shifted and transferred, this is an example of internal check. Next, authority and responsibility. Our internal check says that there should be clear definition of authority in the organization. If you don't make anybody authority for that, he will not be doing it because he knows that he doesn't have authority. Giving of delegation of authority, I hope you have read that chapter. Authority is very importantly correlated to responsibility. If you give somebody the responsibility and you don't give the authority, you will not be getting the best test of the results. Work of the subordinate staff should be monitored by the superior staff team. This has to happen and the superior staff team should have the authority over the subordinates. Responsibility is correlated to authority. Internal check makes sure that this authority and responsibility go hand in hand. This creates ease in monitoring the work of subordinate staff. You will be able to be a good monitor only if you have some authority. If you do not have authority, you are just nominal head, then you will not be able to carry on your duty nicely. If this happens, if authority and responsibility go hand in hand, there are very few chances of fraud, and this creates a moral pressure on the employees to work carefully and vigilantly. So this is how the chain goes. We have a CEO, then we have the general manager under him, and then there is a manager, and then there is a clerk. So this is a chain of the superiority level, and so is the responsibility and authority, very important in internal check system. Next comes the accounting control. See, there should be control accounts are made, you know this, stock taking, reconciliation statements, asset verification. Whatever is stated in the books will be verified physically. This is internal check. Self-balancing ledgers are made. Internal check. The above stated all these words, they help to strengthen the internal check process in an organization. See, mechanical devices. What they say is that automatic time recording machine, automatic cash register. है ना? If it is manual, the person may do some mistake. But if you have these devices, automatic time record machine, so there will be no need of any flaw. There will not be any flaw in recording, and internal check will automatically take place. These devices, they operate in a predefined logic and prevent the misappropriation of cash. There will be no misuse. The user, he cannot rewrite or overwrite the data. The devices overcome the shortcomings of the manual process. So what I'm trying to say is that if we use these devices, automatic internal check will take place in your organization, which will be very beneficial. Next comes the manual register for attendance and the biometric mechanical device. You know, there used to be a register in which you have to handwritten, hand signatures and all. The staff can write any time whenever they enter. They may be entering a little later, but they can write the previous time, you know. But if it is a biometric device, then there will be no chances of fraud, and automatically that biometric mechanical device will record the correct time and internal check will take place automatically. Now we'll talk about advantages we have already discussed, but the first one is the division of work. If you go by internal check, your work gets divided into various hands, which is a very big advantage to your organization. Internal check also gives you detection of early errors and fraud immediately, and they get corrected immediately. The efficiency of the employee will increase because he knows that he will be checked and he will be doing his work very promptly. Moral value of the employees also rises because when you know that you will not commit a mistake and you are working on that, and then you will be true and honest, and you know, your moral value, your confidence level also will increase. Now there is another, this slide says that advantage to the auditor. If internal check is taking place in an organization and when the external auditor comes to audit it, he knows that there is internal check, so he knows at the back of his heart that there will be no mistakes. There are very few chances of mistakes because internal check is happening. X is checking the work of Y and Y is checking the work of Z, right? If the system of internal check is reliable and effective, it automatically is very advantageous to the auditor. He saves his time, he saves his cost, his work gets minimized because he knows that everything is already pre-checked. Internal check has already been taken place. It is very easy now to check the transactions. Auditor knows that the organization has a very effective and strong internal check system. There is a proper control right from the beginning. You are exercising internal check right from the beginning of the work. So the accounts, they will reveal the true picture of the organization. The work of auditor becomes very easy. It is very convenient. He can sit and relax, and he can even opt for test checking and use sample method. I hope you understand the sample method. Like, there is no need for him to go after each and every transaction. Sampling method se bhi he can check it, and it will be, his work will be very convenient because half of the work has already been done. The checking has already been done internally. Here we talk about the disadvantages of internal check. Let's start. First is that it's literally a time consuming thing, you know, because it involves reviews and checks in the operation processes, multiple stages. At every stage you have to check it. You have to put two employees for one work. One will write the ledger, the second one will check it. So what is it? Time consuming. Otherwise the one person has written his time, work is done, finish it off. No, but now you will appoint another person to check the work of the previous person. So internal check is comparatively a time consuming process. Now second point comes the lack of accountability. Supposingly you detect some error or fraud in the subsequent stages, what will happen? The staff of the previous stage will deny his involvement. They will try to shift it to some other person. He shall try to shift the responsibility to another employee. So, but this lack of accountability, you have to write it. But if you see it otherwise, it can be as an advantage also, but sometimes it acts as a disadvantage. Our second point says lack of accountability takes place. Okay. Now the third point is not suitable for small organization. See, internal check needs more people. Otherwise, because you have to appoint one person for one head. You have to appoint two heads for one work. So more number of employees are needed. Small entrepreneurs, they have less manpower and they don't have that much of finances to appoint more people. They cannot pay for this big staff. So internal check, because it involves more number of employees, therefore it is not suitable for small organization. Then there can be conflict and rift among the employees, because one person is reviewing the work of another person. Nobody likes his work to be checked by his colleagues. So there can be unhealthy relationships amongst the employees can take place, and there can be conflicts also, because how dare you find out my mistake? Certain these type of things can also take place. So there may be chances that there is conflict and rift among the employees. Next is the too much relaxation for the auditor. I told you in the previous slide that the auditor can sit and relax when he knows that the internal check system is very effective. He may go for test checking and samples, but then he should, fulfill his own duties nicely. He should remain alert even if strong internal check exists. So he should not sit and relax. No doubt it is a bit convenient for him if there is a strong system of internal check. Okay, so here we come to the end of the article. I hope I have made the things very clear to you. In case you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me in the comment section. In case you want to give any suggestions, you are more than welcome. Please write in the comment section. Kindly like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed.